From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Friday, December 18th. I'm Wayne Pratt. It's not easy to translate the intimacy of live theater to a web stream, but in her first project at the Rep, playwright-in-residence Regina Taylor is trying to do just that by sharing stories about life in this time of social distancing.
To touch each other through the screen, we can still feel each other through these works. That's the challenge.
In just a few minutes, Taylor speaks with St. Louis Public Radio's Jeremy Goodwin about love and kindness in the age of quarantine. The vaccination of Barnes Jewish Hospital employees is underway as the fight against coronavirus continues. St. Louis Public Radio's Sarah Fenton reports BJC healthcare officials expect to use their first shipment of 10,000 doses within the next 2 weeks.
8 locations within the BJC healthcare system began vaccinating workers this week. The federal government initially sent enough of the Pfizer vaccine to cover about 1/3 of BJC's patient-facing workforce. Mostly older employees stood in line inside a large conference room to receive the first of the 2-dose vaccination. Many were in and out of the makeshift clinic in under 10 minutes. After they received a shot, they immediately went to another station to make an appointment for their second dose. Nurse practitioner Christy Kay was giving vaccines.
So far, every single person that I've vaccinated said that it was the quickest and they didn't even feel it.
Missouri officials are sending the first vaccine doses to healthcare workers and nursing home staff and said anyone who wants a vaccine will likely be able to get one by summer. I'm Sarah Fenton, St. Louis Public Radio.
Illinois' initial shipment of 43,000 vaccine doses has been distributed to 77 hospitals throughout the state. About 3,500 frontline healthcare workers have been vaccinated as of yesterday morning. Those numbers exclude the city of Chicago, which is in charge of its own distribution. Governor J.B. Pritzker says he still does not know why the federal government cut the number of doses to be shipped to states and large cities in half for the rest of the year.
I don't know what to say about that. I've not had any direct conversations with the people who control those doses. Our IDPH talks to the federal government every day, and we've not been informed why the federal government is not drawing down those vaccines.
An FDA panel has recommended drug maker Moderna's COVID vaccine for emergency use, but Illinois officials are reluctant to give estimates about forthcoming doses of that medication. Charter schools have broken out of the borders of Missouri's 2 largest cities for the first time. The state school board has approved a charter for the Leadership School. St. Louis Public Radio's Ryan Delaney reports.
The Leadership School can open within Normandy's boundaries because the district lacks full state accreditation. The school will offer students in grades K through 8 a sense of belonging and strong academics, its founder says. State School Board member Pamela Westbrooks Hodge, who previously served on Normandy's governing board, was the lone vote against the school.
You can't morally advance options and choice for one group by taking away the rights and choice of another.
Normandy has slowly improved academics, but its students still struggle. It's also lost half its student enrollment over 3 decades. The Leadership School plans to open next fall. I'm Ryan Delaney, St. Louis Public Radio.
The top federal prosecutor in the St. Louis area will step down at the end of the month. Jeff Jensen will leave his post as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri December 30th. He plans to return to private practice. Jensen focused on bringing federal resources to fight violent crime. He was also U.S. Attorney during the federal corruption trial of former St. Louis County Executive Steve Stenger. Jensen was appointed by President Donald Trump. Golden Globe-winning actress Regina Taylor began a new role as playwright-in-residence at the Rep in October. She is hoping to spark dialogues about important issues. Her first project is an online production called Love and Kindness in the Time of Quarantine. 8 theater artists and musicians joined Taylor to perform songs and short monologues about life during the pandemic. St. Louis Public Radio's Jeremy Goodwin talks with Taylor about the project.
It's an introduction to people that I hope to have continued collaborations with as I move forward. So I really wanted to have a dialogue with people, other artists, to see where they were, what they wanted to share. You have these very distinct, unique voices, and it is about where we are right now. We are in the time of COVID. We are in a time of social unrest. We are in a time of great uncertainty and promise. Still, we are enshrouded in darkness and looking for flickers of light.
Your piece is called, that you perform,
Exit Strategy.
Exit Strategy, and in parentheses, the Black Album. And that's a monologue by a character who lives in the city, I believe it was New York City, and travels by car with a cat to her family home in St. Louis to quarantine there.
Here there's space. Time to sit and speak to my mother. Here I am reminded how my mother, grandmother, and others, how they survived standing on this ground, how they raised theirs up to continue on after them.
Could you just speak a little about maybe what inspired that particular angle that you took?
How do you find yourself rooted in this time when everything is being uprooted? Everything that we know, that we believe in, that we hold on to, everything is being uprooted and turned around. What's the inspiration for the piece? Where do you find some semblance of comfort as you're trying to figure out what lies ahead?
Well, there is an essence that's of alienation here that, we're missing that essential piece of theater, which is sitting in the same room together and watching this on a computer. But yet these performances felt so intimate.
Absolutely. The question being, how do we continue to be artists, to create, to share in this time when we are essentially isolated from each other physically? What does that mean then to cross the divide, to touch each other? Through the screen, we can still feel each other through these works. That's the challenge, to pierce through time and space, as it were, and isolation. Mariah Richardson's piece, is this woman baking cakes to give to people, her way of connecting to people in this time that might brighten their lives.
My mother used to bake cookies for the whole neighborhood around Christmas time. People still talk about her butter cookies. And she told me the secret to making everything taste good: love.
You have these different people in different places, and we are uniting in terms of this piece, in this space that is this sacred theatrical space, that we can still share stories, we can still connect with people.
That was the Rep's playwright-in-residence, Regina Taylor, speaking with St. Louis Public Radio's Jeremy Goodwin. Our David Casares edited that report. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. This is the final episode I will be hosting this year. I'm taking a few days off. Several colleagues will be filling in next week. Also, we will not be putting together this daily extravaganza the week between Christmas and New Year's. So, happy holidays to all, and most importantly, stay safe. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.